Good afternoon and welcome to Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. This is our live Juneteenth Economic Justice Virtual Press Conference. As a 105-year-old service organization built on scholarship, sisterhood, and final womanhood, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated continues to honor the trailblazing vision of our founders, speaking out against societal ills of the day and advocating for justice in our communities. In over 900 chapters across the United States and 13 countries, we are embracing the extraordinary power of she, advocating for social justice, health justice, and economic justice at home and abroad. Our community conscious action oriented organization works with partners that provide resources and information on a variety of issues, policies, opportunities for service. And today it's about economic justice in light of Juneteenth and remembering the reason why we celebrate Juneteenth. It allows us to celebrate our soror, Dr. Opal Lee, who is a proud member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, and she has been reminding the country and the world that Juneteenth represents freedom, and freedom for all Americans. The freedom to vote, the freedom to legislate and govern, the freedom to own a business, the freedom to live in decent housing, the freedom to eat nutritious food, the freedom to be paid equally for a day's labor, the freedom to have quality health care, and the freedom to know accurate history. So as we celebrate Juneteenth, it's not just a day off, but an opportunity for our nation to work together to eradicate the social issues of systemic racism, hunger, homelessness, joblessness, access to health care, economic justice, and climate change, just to name a few. So what our Dr. Opal Lee has shown us, that if we all work together, people who were taught to hate can be taught to love. And today we want to talk about the economic justice that is needed for all those to contribute and participate in the American dream. Dr. Opal Lee said she wants people to know that Juneteenth can be a unifier. And one thing we can unify around is access to resources that all of us should be able to celebrate. So today I am excited to introduce to you to the people who work on behalf of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated when it comes to our ability to share the resources that we have when we think about intergenerational wealth and pathways for families, not just internally, but externally, to be able to maximize their opportunity for entrepreneurship as a pathway to that intergenerational wealth, and then personal growth and finances with the partners that we have. So joining me right now are two of the most hardworking directors in our organization. They lead our Women Who Win initiative, and you're going to hear a little bit about what they do on a daily basis advancing this work. And they come to it from a sincere passion for wanting to make sure that we are building entrepreneurs. One of the fastest ways to really create opportunities for our children's children. Those of you of faith might know a little quote that says, a wise man or woman will leave an inheritance for their children's children. And that is what we are able to do with creating pathways through entrepreneurship with this initiative for Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. Directors Diana Hilaire and Miriam Lynch Shea, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Madam Grant. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Women Who Win. Who are we? Well, let me tell you a little something about Women Who Win. We were established in 2022 as our fearless leader had this great idea to really catapult entrepreneurship within the sisterhood. So what did we do? In 2024, in our Grand Boule, we launched Women Who Win with all the rallying, all the support from the sorority. And here we are today with almost 700 businesses positioned to win. I wish I could hear a round of applause. I wish we had some sound effects with that. So why are we here? What is Women Who Win? We are here to increase entrepreneurship with members and promote success. We are here to support and encourage entrepreneurships within the sisterhood and our auxiliary members. We are here to serve as the central location for members to access information on entrepreneurship. Of course, educate members on resources necessary to have a successful business and be a successful leader. And last but not least, create partnerships with key organizations to amplify economic justice and advocacy within our sorority and local minority business owners. I mean, that's who we are. Now, here is our wonderful directory with, like I said, almost 700 businesses positioned to win. And you could filter it through type of business, uh, region, where in the state, which city. And we are just so grateful to be able to have this platform to amplify our businesses within the sisterhood and within our auxiliary groups. And of course, we have a QR code if you want to get a little bit more information on how dynamic these almost 700 businesses are. And next, I am going to pass the torch to my co-director, who is going to talk about partnership opportunities.
Absolutely. And so, as we went over the program overview, one of the things that Diana mentioned was creating partnerships. We are ecstatic that we've had an opportunity in just a short amount of time to develop many partnerships, some of which we'll be introducing today, talking a little bit more about and talking to some of our partners, and others that have come along the way and helped us. So WBENC will be on deck. We have a few more that'll be coming up as well. The Boss Network will be speaking with us today. The SBA, glad to do things with them. Macy's, they partnered with us in Indianapolis at our conference. JP Morgan Chase, we had an event in the Vineyard. Prudential, as well as dFree, who'll be speaking today. World of Money, and last but certainly not least, NAREB. And so in order to put this program together, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the dynamic team that Grant has helped us put together. She has handpicked a group of us to really lead this charge. And it takes a team because we could not do it alone. So our leadership team on the steering committee, as you can see, is from all over the place. And what supports us and allows us to do the work locally on the regional, the state, and the local level are our regional representatives. We have 8 regions within our organization. We have representatives, and so we get feedback. We meet regularly to find ways to amplify our businesses, our cause, this mission, and the opportunity. And it's very needed, especially in turbulent times like this when businesses need support. It really feeds into the power of she, which is why we're here. We represent the E in the economic development. We're proud to be a part of that. And we're a small part of it because we have other committees that support it as well. But our face has been public for the last 2 years. And we are just so excited to be a part of this, to be a part of the growth and to lay the foundation for what we hope will be generations of members to help find ways to build generational wealth within their own businesses. So
absolutely. And because we are celebrating Juneteenth and celebrating the richness in our culture, the resilience that runs through our veins, the opportunity to be able to tell our story and not erase our history, we know that resources are required to be able to have access to a lot of the American dream. So our economic justice virtual press conference today is to alert you that we are on the front lines of making sure that we're providing these resources, not just internally, but externally, as these women are programming ways that we can help local entrepreneurs. We have awarded scholarships, if you will, to local entrepreneurs in a variety of areas, from the national level to the regional level to programming on the state level. So stay connected. And I know that we show the QR code for them to go to our directory and be able to do business with a woman who wins. So thank you so much, Directors Hilaire and Lynch Tate. I think you want to cue up an intro to our first of our partners that we are featuring today, who are right with us, lockstep, in making sure we are creating opportunities, especially for entrepreneurship, to move the needle forward in intergenerational wealth opportunities.
So, well, without any further ado, one of our first partnerships as a part of this initiative was with WBENC, which is, they're going to tell you a little bit more about them. They're a dynamic organization that we have been blessed to been able to come together and do some things, which they're going to talk a little bit more. So I don't want to steal their thunder, but we want to thank them for joining us in the mission of what we're trying to do. And without any further ado, let's hear from our friends at WBENC.
Well, hello everyone. I am Lakeisha White, Senior Vice President of Certification for WBENC, and I am happy to join you along with members of our team, Audrey Owasam, Senior Program Manager, and our Senior Vice President, Terrence Frierson. And we definitely are all about joining forces and succeeding together. So Women Who Win is right up our alley. So we are excited to join Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated to unveil this historic partnership, the first of its kind within the Divine Nine. I like my little rap thing there. Uh, so this collaboration marks a major step forward in advancing entrepreneurship and empowerment through intentional engagement in education. In our first year together, we focused on meaningful and actionable impact. We hosted 2 key webinars to guide the business owners in the Zeta community through the certification journey. The first was a step-by-step guide on navigating the certification process, followed by a session to help the newly certified businesses understand how to leverage that certification that they now have for growth and opportunity. We also contributed to our expertise by serving as a judge in the Zeta's Women Who Win inaugural pitch competition, which gave us a front row seat to the innovation and passion within the community. And lastly, attendance at each of our national conferences is important, not just to be present, but to engage, connect, and reinforce the power of this partnership. And we're definitely looking forward to being together next week at the WBENC National Conference. Now, Dr. Grant's vision to connect with WBENC as the largest third-party certifier of women-owned businesses was so timely. We're dedicated to advancing business development and leadership for women entrepreneurs. WBENC supports a powerful network of more than 21,000 certified women's business enterprises, we call them WBEs, in conjunction with many of America's Fortune 1000 companies. And our 14 partner organizations delivers programming and outreach at the regional level, which has fostered additional relationships within the Zeta community. Now, certification serves as an entry point to a wide range of resources within the WBENC network. WBENC is driving meaningful change and creating pathways for sustainable business success for women entrepreneurs across industries. Now, we could spend hours discussing our robust programs portfolio, but instead, let me introduce Audrey Owasam to share information about the impact being created through our Women of Color outreach program.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Lakeisha. I am so excited to be here to share a little bit more about our Women of Color program. If we can go back one slide, the Women of Color program is an outreach and development initiative that is designed to support and really help with the development of women-owned businesses and minority-owned businesses within our multicultural network. It's open to those who are both certified and non-certified as well. And we have 2 primary work streams that serve as the foundation of how we support our valued constituents. So the first work stream is our community resource groups. Think of these as affinity groups, and each CRG hosts sessions tailored to the interests and the relevant topics that target our women-owned businesses in that group. And so we currently have 3 CRGs: Unidas for our Hispanic and Latina business owners, Legacy for our African-American, Afro, and Black business owners, and Tapestry for our Asian American business owners. The second work stream is our Entrepreneur Incubator, which is a premier program designed to empower aspiring student entrepreneurs at HBCUs and other educational institutions. Both work streams are guided by 7 program pillars, and these really shape the initiatives that we deliver for our program. And you will find on the screen our core objectives, which are featured. And essentially, we're all here to support the growth of women-owned businesses. And so in 2024, we proudly engaged over 2,000 entrepreneurs and more than 150 aspiring entrepreneurs from 8 prestigious HBCUs. And this is really due to the generous support of our founding sponsors, Altria, Southern California Edison, and JP Morgan Chase & Co. Their partnership has been really instrumental in helping us grow the program year after year. Now, I'm really excited and ecstatic to share a little bit more about our Entrepreneur Incubator. Like I said, it's a premier program for student entrepreneurs at historically Black colleges and universities. This launched in 2021 at 2 prestigious HBCUs. And the program is really focused on supporting the next generation of business leaders, the next generation of women who win, and other professionals as well. And so the program contributes to the development of the leadership competencies and other skills that are really needed to address emerging challenges within our communities. We are now featured at eight prestigious HBCUs. We have one co-ed cohort at Tuskegee University, and really that is a balance of both female and male participants. And we have had over 270 hours of structured learning, mentoring, and more with a variety of business owners and corporate professionals, providing over $72,000 in seed funding. And we just continue to ensure that the next generation of leaders are growing to support and address our emerging challenges within our nation. Now, I would like to turn it over to our program leader and senior VP, Terrence Frierson, to wrap up. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Audrey. Your commitment and leadership are truly valued by our organization. Good afternoon, everyone. Full disclosure, I am a Sigma man, and so I'm very honored to be part of this announcement today, this program today. As mentioned earlier, WBENC's partnership with Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated is intentional and strategic. The value is anchored in our shared commitment to advance opportunities for women in business and in leadership, enabled through education, empowerment, and economic development programs. Quoting a famous Zeta, Dionne Warwick, I will not wait for opportunities. I will create them. WBENC and Zeta understands the time is now and the need is great, accelerating our efforts to help create sustainable opportunities and economic prosperity for small businesses, local communities, and as Madam President said, the future generations of our children's children. Our purpose-driven work continues with an expanded emphasis on facilitating the readiness among aspiring, emerging entrepreneurs, corporate leaders, and other professionals. I can affirm on behalf of our President and CEO, Pamela Prince Eason, our strategic alliance is strong, and the future is Zeta Blue Bright. Use the QR code on screen to learn more about our organization. A sincere thank you to Dr. Stacie NC Grant and the entire Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated organization for creating and taking up space with WBENC.
Well, thank you, Terrence. I tell you, having all three of you here has been important as we are talking about how can we have tangible ways to honor the spirit of Juneteenth, to create that economic freedom, to have justice for everyone, not just some, but all, so that we can have access to creating that intergenerational wealth. We are proud to be the first D9 organization for this formal partnership with WBENC. And we are excited to share it with our colleagues, and shout out to the state of New York who is tuning in to the program today, as well as many who will be watching this press conference, and the media who will be speaking out about Zeta's stance on the power of she, and today punctuating it with economic justice. So we're going to allow you to go back to doing the great work of this organization, WBENC. It is an honor to work with you, and the passion behind your approach to the work is impressive, because you really care about the whole person. So not just about how you get certified, how you create opportunities. Having this HBCU opportunity for our young members in our organization is also awesome, but you care about the personal growth. You care about really creating a successful person, not just financially on the books, but holistically through the way that you offer your programs. And Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, we appreciate that, because that's the way we do our work and our service. So we bring it to our members as well as to the community. So enjoy the rest of your day. And thank you for joining us for our Juneteenth Economic Justice Town Hall. And we're going to keep our program going as they move forward with their day. We have some other partners that we are featuring who are just as invested in the work. One of the partnerships that we are proud of came out of a relationship with dFree. And dFree is run by the legendary Dr. Buster Suarez, who will be joining us shortly to talk about this work. Reducing debt, that's part of the conversation, and being okay with asking for help in these areas of focus so that we can talk through how do we reduce our debt. You're also going to be hearing from the Boss Network, who we partnered with, and I'm going to bring them in next, because the Boss Network was another unique opportunity to create immediate resources for our small business owners, and some of them actually won prizes. You're also going to hear from NAREB. Well, that's the National Association for Real Estate Brokers. So it's so much going on, and we're closing out with World of Money, an opportunity for you to help our young people learn better habits early on in life so they can be the successful contributors to the economy that we intend them to be. So if our Boss Network team is ready, we're going to come to you, and then we're going to go over. Actually, we're going to have NAREB, because they are busy, and we have the president of NAREB with us, Dr. Courtney Johnson Rose, and she is moving about taking care of all the business that is
it's so much business
in the marketplace. People are trying to save their houses, figure out if they can afford to even purchase a house. Thank you. This is one of our newest partnerships. We've been launching it and officially getting it up off the ground, announcing to the world that we have also the first D9 organization to create a partnership with NAREB. So welcome, my dear friend and sister. Thank you for the work that you are doing leading NAREB. Dr. Courtney Johnson Rose has a body of work that is beyond impressive, but your passion for the way in which NAREB helps our community get access to one of the economic drivers, which is home ownership. Thank you for joining our Juneteenth Economic Justice Town Hall, and just share a little bit about NAREB for those who may not know.
Thank you so much, Madam President, for having me. It is such an honor to be here. Let me just first say congratulations and just commend Zeta Phi Beta for this economic justice press conference today. What a wonderful, intentional way to celebrate the Juneteenth holiday by talking about economic justice and how we move our communities forward. So again, just hats off to Zeta Phi Beta, hats off to you, Madam President. What a terrific way to celebrate this very important holiday. So with that, NAREB is so proud to partner with the ladies of Zeta Phi Beta, and we're going to make tremendous strides through this partnership. So a little bit about NAREB. We are the premier network of Black real estate professionals. We are the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. We were founded in 1947. We are the realtist, and that's very important because when we were founded in 1947, African Americans could not become realtors. So our founders created the realtist TIS, and the real TIS have been focused on helping our community in the area of real estate. Our network includes Black appraisers, Black brokers, Black agents, Black property managers, Black developers are all part of this network. So the whole facet of the real estate industry we represent, and we represent it with the lens particularly focused on helping our community navigate. At NAREB, we produce major reports every year. So we're very focused on data, understanding our community, Madam President, and understanding how do we help us move forward. One of our reports that we produce is called The State of Housing in Black America. This report shows us and chronicles how many African Americans are purchasing homes, how many of them have tried to purchase but have not been able to purchase. What are those impediments that they are experiencing? We do another report called The Wire, Women Investing in Real Estate, specifically looking at African American women and the challenges that we go through when we try to step out and purchase real estate. We've noticed all type of things that have come from this data. Number one, Black women are waiting for, on average, until the age of 44 to purchase a home. What are they doing between the age of 24 when they get into the professional job market and 44 before they purchase their first home? That's 20 years of wealth building that we are potentially missing out on as Black women. So when it comes to economic justice, we want to be able to educate our sisters in particular to go out and take advantage of the opportunities available to us. Our report also shows that only 44% of African Americans own their own homes. That means that if you look at your family, the majority of your family members do not own their own home. But everybody pays rent every single month. Everybody has to pay for somewhere to live every single month, but only 44% of us actually own where we live. That's low-hanging fruit when it comes to economic justice, because our data also shows that the number one way to close this wealth gap is through homeownership. So we are very intentional. We're very focused on how do we work together with organizations like Zeta Phi Beta to get our community educated, to get our community equipped and ready to purchase real estate. One of the things we're working on together collaboratively is the Black Wealth Tour. Our Black Wealth Tour has been all over the country. We've been in 106 cities. Our next stop is in Los Angeles. In July 26th, we'll be in LA. But we go city to city to city where we have community wealth building days. These are free events that we offer on Saturdays, usually from 10 to 3, where community members can come learn about real estate. We have a resource fair, so there's booths and educational materials there, people there to help you. We have one-on-ones. You can sit down with a lawyer, you can sit down with a real estate professional, you can sit down with a lender. So you just want to talk to somebody for 15, 20 minutes, just get yourself on the right track, answer questions that you have. And then we have our signature courses that are part of the Black Wealth Tour. One of them is what to do with Big Mama's house, because we're losing so much wealth in our community because we're not passing real estate along effectively. We don't know how to work with our cousins. We don't know who owns what. We don't know who pays the taxes. But in the meantime, these properties that our grandparents were blessed to get have doubled and tripled and quadrupled in value. And we're too busy trying to figure out who's going to cut the grass and who's going to secure it and how does he live there and I don't live. Where we're losing properties. They're preying on our communities and we're losing these properties. So we have a course called What to Do with Big Mama's House. That's part of the tour. We have ABCs of home buying. We have I Have Equity. Now what? A lot of people in our community that are homeowners have equity. They don't know whether to do a reverse mortgage. They don't know whether to pull that equity out. They don't know whether to sell the home and downsize. So we talk about all of that at the Black Wealth Tour. To learn about the tour at NAREB, blackwealthtour.com. But Zeta Phi Beta is a part of this tour with us. We're going city to city, the Zetas, NAREB, all of our partners, to be able to educate and equip our community. So it's been such an honor to be in partnership with you all. Economic justice is the civil rights movement of our time. So
Mm.
we are laser focused on how do we work together to collectively equip our community to be able to move forward economically. That's the focus. I'm so proud again of Zeta Phi Beta for this focus and this way to celebrate Juneteenth. It's so intentional and it's so needed. And NAREB is honored to be a part of it.
Well, we are honored to be working with you. I mean, that body of work, it is just so
Yes.
timely, necessary. You know, we just talked with WBENC about certification and how to get
Yes.
business. And this part gives you another aspect of using home
Yes.
ownership, but then getting the questions answered, because a lot of times we suffer
Yes.
for lack of knowledge. And
Yes.
NAREB is making sure that we're sharing that knowledge, and we're sharing that knowledge freely. And that members of our organization who are also members of NAREB, they're so excited about
Yes. To work together.
moved and work together. So thank you for joining our Juneteenth Economic Justice Press
For
Conference
having us.
so that
Yes.
we can get the word out. And we'll be putting this replay out so they can find
Excellent.
opportunities to connect. Just give them the website one more time, as some of the media hits might pick it up as
Yes.
well.
Yes, NAREBBlackWealthTour.com. NAREBBlackWealthTour.com. Next stop, July 26th in Los Angeles.
Well, thank you again for
Thank you.
being
Blessings
such-
to you, Madam President.
You're the blessing. Dr. Courtney Johnson Rose, I love you. Thank you for the work
Awesome.
you're doing and partnering with NAREB. We're going to keep this press conference going with another partner. You go about and make some more opportunities
Awesome.
happen for the Black Wealth Tour. Well, aren't you excited? I hope you're excited, because Zeta's excited to serve you. That's what we do. We are your go-to service organization. We're talking about economic justice. And what did Dr. Courtney Rose just say? It's the civil rights movement of this decade. And joining me now is another one of our partners, longstanding partners with dFree, the founder, the visionary of helping our communities reduce debt so that they can access more, is the one and only, the legendary Dr. Buster Suarez. Dr. Buster Suarez, welcome. That's what it's Dr. DeForest Buster Suarez, but we call him Buster for short, because he is about getting the work done, helping our communities. Zeta has millions of dollars that we did in campaigns to reduce debt as a result of the partnership with dFree. But Dr. Suarez, tell us a little bit more about why you started this opportunity for our communities and how the work with Zeta Phi Beta has been impactful in getting the word out.
Well, Dr. Grant, first of all, can you hear me? I'm in the hotel lobby in Galveston, Texas. Can you hear me?
I can. You're getting ready for
you hear me?
Juneteenth. We can hear you loud and
You
clear.
can. Okay, perfect. So I'm in Galveston, and I'm here to do some events tomorrow for Juneteenth. As you know, I was with you and Soror in Fort Worth, Texas, for the last couple of years, and Ms. Opal Lee is my spiritual leader for Juneteenth. But this year I'm in Galveston, Texas, because this is where Juneteenth started. Juneteenth started in 1865 in Galveston, and I'm doing some events today. I'm doing a live online for dFree tomorrow night. And so I'm happy to be here. I just got here. I'm in the lobby of the hotel on my phone. My apologies, because I know how to do this better than phone. But I want to commend you, Grant, for your show. I certainly want to commend Zeta Phi Beta for this economic justice emphasis. 1967, Martin Luther King Jr. wrote his last book, From Here, Chaos or Unity. And in that book, Dr. King urged Black America to take seriously the need to do exactly what you do: education, financial empowerment, fight for economic justice through our existing organizations. And Dr. King then said that every religious organization, every fraternity, every sorority, every professional association should include on its agenda. Now, that doesn't mean you have to stop doing all of what else you do, but include on the agenda economic justice, financial education, and financial freedom. And so you are doing exactly what the preeminent Black leader of the 20th century urged us to do, and I want to commend you for that. Further, I want to commend you for your partnership strategy. There is no need for all of us to try to do everything, and there certainly is no need to reinvent the wheel. And when we can not care about who gets the credit and rise above ego and identity, we can partner with each other and collaborate to bring about positive outcomes for our community. And so while I was driving quickly to the hotel, I listened to WBENC, and I want to congratulate you on being the first partner in the Divine Nine with WBENC. Of course, NAREB is the hope for Black America. Most Americans have wealth in real estate, and we are lagging far behind. And NAREB is the preeminent organization focused like laser-like precision on helping Black people become homeowners. We got to pay to live somewhere. So we might as well pay to live somewhere where we can not only have a decent place to live, but also accrue wealth. dFree is an acronym. It stands for freedom from debt delinquencies and deficits, and freedom to making deposits in your own bank accounts, earning dividends from your investments, and having your name on one of those deeds that NAREB helps you obtain because of ownership. We basically, we do three things. One, we have content. And I'm happy to announce this month is our 20th anniversary. My newest book is coming out, the second edition of Say Yes to Debt. And I'm donating 250 copies of that book to Zeta Phi Beta to use as chapters have been active in the movement. We create content, digital content, print content, and content that features in various aspects of financial freedom. The thing we do is campaigns. We came off a citywide campaign in the city of Newark, where we work with the mayor's wife and the mayor's office to reach 1,000 women to help them become financial. And the third thing we do is building an online community and I'll share information.
So, right, Dr. Suarez, I'm just going to interrupt you for a moment because I want them to hear that last part. So we know.
Our financial strategy.
So what we're going to do is just pause.
And as you know, our process is basically a four-dimensional process. Start with how to get.
So this is what we're going to do because this is too important for you all not to hear Dr. Suarez. So as we heard, there was a little bit of background noise, and we want you to understand what we're talking about with dFree. So we're going to give him a chance to just reconfigure his Wi-Fi, right? Because he's doing this on the road. These are the real life movements of our partners, busy making sure that there are resources for us. So we're going to bring Dr. Suarez back just to share the last few points about dFree. But in the meantime, we're going to hear from the Boss Network, one of our other partners who also has to get back to another commitment. So we want to make sure that we get all of our partners in on this virtual press conference today, and Dr. Kamika Smith is here joining us. We are so proud that we were able to partner with the Boss Network last year and had an amazing time where we literally put money in the pockets of one of our business owners. So I think it was 3 actually, because we did a whole partnership. 4. Well, I'm going to let you talk about it. I know Cynthia is here. Well, is Cynthia going to join us also for the conversation, or she's just supporting?
She's just supporting as always. Yeah, I'm gonna lead the show today. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, let's tell everybody about the Boss Network.
Absolutely. So again, my name is Dr. Kamika Smith, and I'm the founder of the Boss Network and also Boss on Campus, which is our nonprofit. First, I want to again thank Zeta Phi Beta for having us, and of course, International President Dr. Stacie for always showing up for the Boss Network and including us in all the amazing things that you all are doing, and also for understanding the value of entrepreneurship and encouraging Black women to be enterprising, not only for their families, but also for their communities. Not only is Dr. Grant a supporter of the Boss Network, she's been a member for over a decade. So we go way back. And I was listening to Dr. Suarez as he's out there in Galveston. And I just recently came back from a trip to Charleston, South Carolina, Cynthia, myself, and Dorinda, who's on my team, and, Juneteenth and, the history of our people in this country. We did a tour at the International Black History Museum, and just understanding that, our people were brought here to do labor very strategically. And so that shows you that we have had genius from the beginning. We built this country. And so it is important for us to make sure that we're utilizing those skills and talents that we have for ourselves, for our families, and for our communities. Yes. So
Well,
I want to.
And I just want to say,
Yes.
what you just mentioned is
Mm.
part of the education, right? That
Yeah.
when people hear Juneteenth, it's not that, oh, I got a day off from work.
That's right.
Holidays are reminders of the
Mhm.
reason. And we need to
Absolutely.
continue to drive this home, that the freedom that
Yeah.
they found out about is the freedom we're still fighting for in so many
Absolutely.
areas. And the Boss Network has been offering opportunities for financial freedom. So I'll let you share some more.
Yeah. And, I agree that 100% as a former educator right here in Chicago Public Schools, it was important for me not only to teach my students, but also expose them to, what we've come from and what we can do moving forward. And so, again, we launched the Boss Network back in 2009. So over the last 16 years, we've been able to create one of the largest digital platforms for Black women entrepreneurs in this country. We are one of the top 10 websites for entrepreneurs and career women listed by Forbes magazine, Inc. magazine. And so the work that we've done over the last 16 years has really been proven. And so we, with that, have built a great partnership with the Divine Nine. Last year, we were able to invest $250,000 within the Divine Nine. 50,000 of that went to Zeta Phi Beta, and we were able to invest in 4 Black female founders within your organization. They each received a $10,000 grant in addition to a 1-year full scholarship to our Boss Business University. So not only are we giving these women capital, but also community and coaching. And so that's really important when we talk about building entrepreneurship. For me, Juneteenth represents freedom, as many of you have mentioned. And the Boss Network is not only inspiring women to build businesses, but we're actually equipping them with the tools, the resources, and the funding to support them as entrepreneurs. One of the quotes I like to say is, until we own our own, we can never be on our own. And I mean that. And so it's really important for me as a founder starting this organization over 16 years ago to really encourage women of color and men of color to look at entrepreneurship. Even if you have a full-time job, there's also always an opportunity to build a business to help support your family. And we know that today, in today's world, we need 2 or 3 incomes. Am I right?
That's right. 2, 3, or 4.
So with that, we've had such an amazing success. We've built a community of over 200,000 Black women founders. We've trained over 50,000 women in business success strategies. We've coached and mentored over 10,000 women, and we've invested in 100 Black women founders with a $1.5 million investment over the last 3 years. And so we are committed to this work. Dr. Stacie knows she was there from the beginning. So she knows how committed my team is to making sure that we encourage Black women to be successful. I'm going to see if I can share my screen here.
Well, you might not be able to share the screen right now, but I do want to go back to what you said about creating pathways and partnerships for Black women in business. That's the whole purpose of our partnership, and understanding as an organization, when we talk about the power of she and being very intentional. Dr. Sora said, I see the strategy. Yes, there was a strategy to make sure that our organization is at the forefront of providing information, resources, training, capital, certification to really build this opportunity for intergenerational wealth. And what does that look like? Because as we fight for social justice and health justice, you need the economics. They're all intertwined in order for us to truly see progress in our communities. So tell them how they can visit the Boss Network and find out more information and join the community. I can tell you this is it's laid out in an easy way to digest. It's so inviting to make you want to learn more. Click here, work with more partners, be exposed to more opportunities, and to be able to have our organization literally get an opportunity to compete for those dollars. It was so exciting. $250,000 investment in the Divine Nine was not a small feat, and 50,000 coming to Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. We are so proud of the partnership. So tell them how to connect with you.
Absolutely. And just to reiterate what you're saying, Dr. Stacie, it really just shows the power of one person, right? Because, I'm not a corporation. I'm not a big business. I'm a female founder who decided to invest in other Black women. And so that shows the power of us as community. And so we understand the power of strategic partnerships. And so we knew that partnering with the Divine Nine was going to be able to allow us to actually encourage and equip more Black women to be entrepreneurs. We currently have several programs that we're running. Right now, we have a Boss Pathways to Success program where we're actually teaching women about entrepreneurship and leadership strategies. We've actually completed one of the only reports on Black women in business, Voices of Strength report that you can visit thebossnetwork.org to learn more about. And we're just continuing this partnership with the Divine Nine, of course, the finer women of Zeta Phi Beta, to continue this work to encourage women to be enterprising. And so, again, I want to thank you all for having us, and we encourage everyone to visit and join if they want to learn more about the Boss Network.
Absolutely. And we've put it in so everybody can go ahead to the website. Yeah. Thank you for the partnership. Thank you for working with the ladies of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated to get the word out to the community about opportunities for Black women and women of color, because we have every race in our organization, but the predominant history and legacy of who we are serving the disenfranchised communities, looking at the challenges, socioeconomic challenges that have been a part of our lived experience. This Juneteenth Economic Justice Town Hall is our opportunity to not only amplify our work, but to share it so other people can be involved as we do this work together. So thank you so much as we get ready to go back to Dr. Buster Suarez. Everybody was taking notes. They were like, wait.
I want to say something really quick, Dr. Stacie, because I believe in pouring into women. I want to make sure that we leave your community with something. So I'm going to send your team our Boss Founders Toolkit, and everyone can download that and actually have access to a tool that I created over my last 15 years of building my business that they can use to help them grow their business. So I want to make sure that everyone in the community gets that. So
look at you still giving gifts. I appreciate it. And the women who win appreciate it. Thank you, Dr. Kamika Smith, for all that you do as we go back to wrap up with Dr. Suarez and bring him back, because we couldn't miss all of the jewels that were dropping from his mouth today. And then we're going to wrap up with World of Money. So we're almost there. Thank you to all the media partners and friends who said, we want to know more about what Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated is doing in honor of Juneteenth, talking about economic justice. And you have some of our key partners here giving you that information today. Dr. Suarez, I am bringing you back. As the kids would say, run that beat back. You were sharing with us about dFree and the components, and the internet did not want us to be great. But we are here, and we're going to have you just wrap that up as we move into World of Money.
My apologies. I'm going to say this quickly, just in case the devil tries to trip us up again. Understand, economic justice means that you are demanding to be treated justly by others, but it also includes treating yourself with justice. And that's what I love about you. You understand the need to focus on external threats and internal potential. And that's what Zeta Phi Beta is about. And I love this. So I was saying quickly that we look at financial freedom in 4 dimensions. Number 1, how to get started, and that's change the way you think. Number 2, how to take control, and that's changing the way you behave. Number 3, how to get ahead, and that's changing how you plan. And then 4thly, how to give back, and that's changing the way you give and serve. And so our partnership with Zetas is global. We have a partnership not only throughout America, we have a partnership in Africa, and our goal is to serve. And so we provide whatever support and resources we can to organizations like yours. And when we talk to other organizations, not just Divine Nine, but religious organizations, civic organizations, we use our partnership with Zeta Phi Beta as an example of how partnerships really can work. Doesn't matter who gets the credit. What matters is the outcomes on behalf of our people. Your partnership model is exactly aligned with the vision of Martin Luther King Jr. And I can't tell you how honored we are at the dFree Financial Freedom Movement to be in partnership with you. Our website is dFree.com. That's dFree.com. And we're announcing a number of new things starting next month, because this is our 20th anniversary. We're not as old as the Zetas are, but we're trying to catch up with you. So thank you. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your partnership. And thank you for your stewardship.
Well, thank you for your leadership, partnership, and stewardship. It's an honor to be able to work with you. You are a mentor, role model to so many of us in the community, and we thank you because you have really paved the way for us to have one of the hardest conversations in our community around reducing debt so we can have access to opportunity. So Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated is proud of the relationship. And I do want to just acknowledge that this came out of work within our Atlantic region, our amazing, astounding, trend-setting Atlantic region. Then Regional Director Gina Merritt Epps, who is now our international first vice president. So, it's wonderful to see how it grew from a regional conversation to now a national partnership that we are being intentional with growing. So thank you, Dr. Soares. Thank you for being in Galveston for
Thank you,
Juneteenth.
Dr. Grant.
We're
God
not
bless you.
free until everybody's free. So
That's
thank
right.
you for all
Thank
that you do.
Thanks to everybody. God bless you.
All right. God bless. And now we're going to wrap it up with World of Money and Wakeza. You're going to find out more about what we are doing in this space, not just for our adults, but setting the groundwork from our young, I won't even call them, how would I say, our young people that use our resources. I think you wrote a book about it, Sabrina Lamb, that I can let you talk about that. Your parents are not an ATM, but understanding how you can prepare our young people for the conversation. Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated is proud to be the first we're an organization, the first, you can see the thread here, but the first organization to form youth auxiliaries. And with doing that, we were able to prepare our young girls to grow up, to be college educated, and beyond that, to be able to contribute back to community. And one of our very own members, our Soror Sabrina Lamb, is leading the charge with World of Money and Wakeza, which is a whole nother way to include AI and these platforms that we don't know about when it comes to trade. I mean, it's so much. So I'm just going to stop and welcome you to our Juneteenth Economic Justice press conference. Thank God for virtually. We can share with our media partners what Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated is doing to stand 10 toes down on Juneteenth, standing for freedom, and particularly today, economic justice. So welcome, Soror Lamb.
Greetings. It is an honor to be here, and bravo to you for your brilliant leadership of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority International, your leadership and seeing the urgency, President and CEO, Dr. Stacie NC Grant, will have an impact generationally. So please hear that and accept that and know that. As introduced, I am Sabrina Lamb, the founder and CEO of Wakeza, which means Save and Invest in Swahili, and World of Money, the leading provider of immersive, child-centered financial education for ages 7 to 21. For over a century, as many of all of you know, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated has stood at the forefront in the trenches of not only social and economic justice, but just in terms of our complete liberation, not only here in the United States, but globally. But in this critical moment marked by federal layoffs and deep program cuts and rollbacks in diversity and equity, Zeta's leadership is not only necessary, it is absolutely urgent. All of our voices, all of our work must continue to be amplified. So I just want to underscore that financial education is no longer optional. It's an emergency. The United States is 17th in the world when it comes to financial education, and the Black community is dead last. Dead last. And so when we talk about economic liberation and we're about to commemorate Juneteenth, I'm so honored to partner with Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated to turn on the economic lights for our community, beginning with our children. So without early, consistent, repetitive financial knowledge, too many of our children are entering adulthood unprepared for the realities, the legal realities, the financial realities of managing money and avoiding debt traps, and are specifically will be or are victimized by the so-called legal financial scams that are just sitting there waiting for them to participate in their own economic setbacks. And so this idea of building generational wealth, that sounds really wonderful, but it must start with financial education and moving our children from just being consumers to being savers, investors, entrepreneurs, and really, really important, philanthropists. Absolutely. And so we cannot afford to miss this moment. We cannot afford to miss it. And that's why our partnership with Wakiza, World of Money, and Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated matters now more than ever. I mean, sometimes
Absolutely.
we say that over and over again, but it's really, really important so that we are not participating in our own setbacks. And so what we have done with Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated is provide child-centered financial education so that our children via the videos are leading that conversation. And what our work, we spent over decades, actually, equipping thousands of children, not only here in the United States, but throughout the African diaspora with this key life-affirming, essential information. And so we also provide adults with tools to launch recession-proof businesses, as well as to affirm their own financial liberation. So I'm just very excited that this can be, should be, will be a new start for all of us to reset our relationship with money. But I overstand, Grand Basilisk, I overstand that none of us will save one nickel unless we believe that we are worth saving.
Wow. Now that's a whole word for Juneteenth.
None of this, everything that I just said, hope everyone's nodding. Yes, financial education is important, but it's a spiritual understanding of our worth. And we understand what our community has experienced in this country and throughout the African diaspora. But please know that once you start to hit that reset and understand, I'm worth saving, that's when you'll see your money, respond accordingly. So I pray that everyone will live long and prosper. And thank you again, Grand Basilisk, for moving our economic liberation front and center. So we're not having these conferences about finding what to do with Big Mama's house. Or if I have an account, it's with some predatory business. Understand and having the questions to ask ourselves, and our children having the questions to ask themselves, to lower the economic chaos, the financial chaos in the home, because everyone understands that every family is a business and every family matters, starting with building their money. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And how can they visit World of Money and
Wakiza.com, WEKEZA, multilingual financial education for the African diaspora, and worldofmoney.org.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming and sharing this information with us so that we can empower our young people. And like you said, also having the important conversations, the conversations that matter, that help us to really understand our worth. And when we think about the 2 years that it took for word to come that the slaves in Galveston were free. I mean, that's a deeper conversation than we have for this press conference to talk about what that trauma and the post-traumatic stress disorder, which has been documented with data that we have experienced as a people. Juneteenth helps us to learn more so that we can move past what was holding us back and move forward with all the possibilities. So thank you for partnering with Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated on this important work.
Honored.
Thank you. Thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, you have been here for our Juneteenth Power of She conversation, this economic justice press conference, when we have talked with WBENC about certification for those of you who are interested in starting your own business, or you're in business but you need to scale. You've learned about our Women Who Win initiative, which we established so that we could create those entrepreneurship opportunities, not only for our members, but then to take that programming and the resources into communities so we can have multiple women who win everywhere where Zeta serves, of course, 900 chapters locally in the United States and abroad. We talked about dFree and the importance of reducing debt and opening up ourselves to more opportunities as a result of that work. And dFree has a whole toolkit instruction to help you do it. No shame, is wherever you are, just get started and don't stay stuck. The Boss Network gave you a gift, additional resources that you can walk away with, a toolkit of how to actually scale and grow and build more partnerships for your business. NAREB gave us the intel on home ownership, understanding what it means to have these conversations about renting versus owning versus buying, and being in this clearinghouse for all the professionals that have a part to play, whether in the closing, whether in actually securing the property. And I thought it's really important to realize that they had to start as realtors because they couldn't be realtors when they initially founded this organization. And it shows the growth and the resilience of who we are as a people. And of course, with Wakeza and World of Money, starting early, having these conversations. So as Zeta Phi Beta continues to stay at the forefront of advocacy in the areas of social justice, health justice, and economic justice, when you celebrate Juneteenth and when you are deciding how you want to move forward, please make sure that you are intentional about the economic opportunities and conversations that need to be had so that we truly can be our ancestors' wildest dreams. And for Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, we know we are living our 5 founders' wildest dreams of speaking out and speaking up against the societal ills and challenges of the day so that we can provide the service, we can provide the scholarship, we can provide the resources that transform communities. It's not just about touting our first in the partnerships that we have, which is awesome. It's about the transformation that we provide working with our partners to make sure that we leave the world better than how we found it. So thank you for joining us. To all of our media partners, thank you for capturing the work of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. And thank you to all those who were tuning in live to listen to this information. Stay safe, be well, and remember, we're not free until everyone is free. God bless you and take good care until we come back again with more Power of She conversations. This is Dr. Stacie NC Grant, International President and CEO of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated.